Hey everyone, finished watching the next episode of Mystic Knights, Dragon's Fury. Last episode, King Conifer stated that Temra was losing the war, and that was why he felt confident enough to attempt a request of peace from Maeve. As of this episode, according to Kahad's opening narration, apparently Temra is doing fine and Kells is losing. What the fuck, this is a serialized show. You shouldn't be punished because you follow and remember the continuity. Not that this actually seems to matter to the actual plot, as it abruptly shifts to something else completely unrelated. Some villagers of Kells see Pyre flying overhead and cheer. Suddenly, without warning, Pyre breathes fire down on the village. Later, several angry villagers riot at King Conifer's castle. Rowan has no idea what's going on. The king orders Rowan to control Pyre or he'll order the dragon to be destroyed. Rowan talks things over with his team. They all give suggestions on what could be happening, until Deirdre mentions Pyre's rampage coming soon after the loss of a recent battle with Temra. There's one survivor of the battle in the castle. They go to question him. He tells them that the Temra army took something from the nearby valley, a plant. Rowan sends Deirdre and Angus to check out the valley. He and Ivar will find Pyre. From her castle, Queen Maeve sends out a projected message to Pyre. She tells him Rowan isn't Draganta and he's only using him. Pyre growls and once again goes on a rampage. Rowan and Ivar track Pyre through a path of destruction. King Conifer wants to give Rowan more time, but can't allow Pyre's destruction to continue. He gives the order to have Pyre killed. Deirdre and Angus, meanwhile, make it to the valley, finding Temra's soldiers camping there. They fight them off and look at the plants they were gathering. Rowan and Ivar, meanwhile, find Pyre. Rowan questions why he's been so destructive, and suddenly Maeve appears. She insists to Pyre that Rowan can't be trusted. Pyre breathes fire at the knights. Rowan refuses to fight back or transform. Deirdre and Angus, meanwhile, take the plant to Kahad. He knows what it is. It's Dragon's Bane, a plant he didn't know actually existed. It's able to give people control of dragons that eat the plant. Kahad tries to develop an antidote to help Pyre. Back with Rowan and Ivar, they're still trying to get Pyre under control. One of the villagers shows up and throws a spear at Pyre. This enrages him and he flies away. Other villagers are there readying a giant arrow to kill Pyre. Rowan and Ivar try to explain to them what's going on, but the villagers pull swords on them and attack. Deirdre and Angus arrive with an antidote Kahad created. Deirdre uses her crossbow to shoot it into Pyre's mouth, returning him to normal. This episode has some pretty intense sequences. Pyre setting fire to the innocent villages is genuinely unsettling for a Saban Fox Kids show. The aftermath is surprisingly realistic. Many people are left homeless, and I'm not sure if they all get happy outcomes. We don't get a solid happy ending this time. Another result of Pyre's rampage is a group of radicalized villagers now obsessed with killing Pyre. They remain antagonistic even when it's clear what's been going on, and run off at the end. I'm curious if they'll return in the future as secondary villains. There's a lot here that goes pretty far from what's come to be expected. Death, destruction, obsession, all themes laid out clearly. It's a bit jarring when compared to the last non-Power Rangers Saban Tokusatsu show, Beetleborgs Metallics, or Ninja Turtles Next Mutation, I guess, if you want to count that one. Metallics somewhat went for a more serious tone than its first season, Big Bad Beetleborgs, but even then, it was a pretty goofy show. Mystic Knights aired alongside Power Rangers in Space, which also went for a more mature tone than what came before. I guess this was just the general direction Fox Kids was going in at the time. One last interesting thing to note, while writing the summary, I noticed just how much longer these have been compared to the typical Power Ranger episodes I usually write about. Mystic Knights has some pretty involved plots with lots of details I don't feel should be left out. Mystic Knights isn't amazing television, but it's a pretty well-written show most of the time, so that's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. See ya.
Dragon lovers! Traitors!